Are you new to strength training but you don't quite know what to do? In this video, I'm going to give you a master class to show you how to build strength that actually shows up on trail when you're in the mountains. If you're new here, my name's James Appleton. I'm the founder of 46 Outdoors, and I've coached hundreds of hikers all across the country, helping them build the strength that actually translates when they are out on the hiking trail. In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly what I teach them, my private clients, how to lift weights in a way that's going to build real, usable mountain strength. Let's dive right in. But before we do that, click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos. Now, if you want your body to get stronger, you have to force it to get stronger. You got to force it to adapt. On the trail, stronger muscles lead to longer miles, more power, more endurance, and a lower risk injury. Your body becomes more resilient when it's stronger. And we all know when we're in the backcountry, we want to have a strong body. Nobody wants to get hurt when you're out there. Lifting weights is what trains your muscles to produce more force so that you can hike harder, you can hike faster, you recover faster. And then when you do all these things, you can move through the mountains with more confidence. And that's really what it's all about. We all want our muscles to be strong and powerful and conditioned, and the best way to build that is simply by lifting heavy things that your body's not used to lifting. That is what forces growth and change. So whether you're using barbells, dumbbells, or machines at the gym, all of the principles I'm going to talk about in this video, they all apply, and you can get great results with any of them because they all allow you to keep building on itself. More weight, more weight, more weight. Now let's talk about body weight training real quick. It does have its place, and I use it in all of my programs for all of my clients, but it's limited because you're stuck lifting the same amount of weight, your body weight. Strength is going to be built through progressive overload, and that's really hard to do when the only load you have is your actual body weight, so you don't really have that loadable resistance to keep building upon. So now let's get into the core training principles that you need to follow so that your training in the gym actually does what you want it to do, because you're putting in that effort. So let's get the results from it. Number one, lift heavy enough to force adaptation, aka change. If your goal is to get stronger for hiking, the weight needs to be heavy enough to send the message to your body that if you want to keep doing this, you got to get stronger. Now, here's the concept I want you to learn. It is a concept called reps in reserve. You may see it written as RIR on the internet. Reps in reserve basically means how many more reps could you have done? In my opinion, sticking to the 1 to 2 reps in reserve place is the sweet spot. That means you feel like you could have done 1 to maybe 2 more reps and then you stop. So that would be 1 to 2 reps in reserve. What this does is it allows you to get the most out of the set without burning out. You don't risk injury of going too hard, but you go hard enough to force that adaptation. Lifting weights is kind of like making s'mores. You got to get that marshmallow near the flame where it feels the heat, but you don't want to put it in the flame. It's too much, but you also can't hold it out here 5 feet away from the flame or it's never going to feel the heat. It's got to be near there. And having that 1 to 2 reps in reserve benchmark that you go for is keeping that marshmallow near the flame. Next, progressive overload. Getting stronger is all about this principle. You're doing a little bit more over time, week after week, maybe month after month, maybe even training session after training session. That can mean maybe you're adding more weight to the bar, or you're doing more reps with the same weight, or maybe you're even adding sets and increasing the volume in which you're training. Maybe you're even decreasing rest times, or you're improving your technique. Either way, what you're doing is you're forcing your body to have to do more little by little, week after week. Now, this is very important. So often I see people's training programs are these random workouts. They're always wanting to do something different because they think they need to keep their mind super stimulated and it has to be entertainment and fun. So they always completely switch up their workouts. When in reality, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. It's why things like CrossFit and group programs, they help. They're better than nothing, but they're not building on themselves week after week, because in group settings, you have to account for the fact that sometimes people will be there and sometimes people won't be there. So you can't really just build a sustainable program that keeps building on itself week after week. progressively overloading what you did last week. That is why it's very good to build yourself a training program and run that exact training program. Do the same workout week after week after week and try to improve the reps or improve the weight. And week after week, your body's forced to adapt. And this is the most important principle for long-term strength. No progression means no adaptation, means you don't get the results that you're looking for. So you got to track your workouts. You got to know what you lifted last week and aim to do just a little bit more this week. Next, training for strength and power. So often I see hikers, they don't train very hard. They're using their little dumbbells for sets of 30 reps because they want to do lightweight for lots of reps to tone. And again, this is just it's a fallacy. It's not actually going to give you the results you're looking for. So for improved trail performance, you want to build strength, muscular endurance, and power and control. How do we do that? When it comes to strength, we're talking low reps with heavy weight. So this is rep ranges in the 4 to maybe 6 rep range, 3 to 6 reps, something in there. That means it's heavier. So if we think back to that reps in reserve thing we just talked about, if you could only do 1 or 2 more reps, obviously if you're only doing 3, 4, 5 reps, that weight's going to be a lot heavier than if you're doing 15, 16 reps or 10 or 12 reps. Now, when it comes to muscular endurance, another thing we need as hikers, right? So that's going to be moderate reps with moderate weight. We're talking sets in the 8 to 12 range, somewhere in that ballpark with weight that correlates on the reps in reserve scale, just like that. And finally, power. We want to be powerful when we're out there. This is going to be more explosive training. Lift with intensity. Actually try to really throw that weight up there. Be really powerful with the weight. That's going to force your body to learn to become powerful. And it's going to help you tremendously when you're out on the hiking trail. This is also really good for unilateral movements, one-legged movements, because we need all of our legs strong too on their own. Fantastic way to train. So here's an example of what a training session might look like, where we're starting with strength with the low reps with heavy weight. Then we move on to the muscular endurance, moderate reps with moderate weight. And then we finally end with power or like unilateral movements, something like that. So we could start with, let's just take a squat day as a prime example. You're going to start with a compound lift, squats or deadlifts. You're going to do 3 sets of 5 reps at a weight that challenges you. Remember, that reps in reserve thing is very important. 3 sets of 5 reps. The weight's supposed to be nice and heavy. That's how you're going to build strength week after week. Then after that 3 sets of 5, you're going to move on to a single leg strength movement. We'll say split squats, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. So now you notice the movement isn't including as many muscles. A squat includes pretty much your whole body. Now we're doing single leg strength. So we're getting each leg strong in and of themselves for more moderate reps, 10 to 12 compared to 5 reps. So obviously the weight is lighter as we work our way down the workout. And then finally, you may finish with let's say step ups onto a bench, wearing your loaded backpack, and you might do sets of 15 to 20 reps. So as we're moving through the workout, the weights come down and the reps go up. Next, you can simulate trail demands with conditioning. This is a really important piece of the equation for hikers or for anybody that just wants to be fit and strong for whatever pursuit they have. And I have all of my clients do this very often. So a lot of hikers, they need to build this trail endurance, and they know that. And they think running is the only way to do that. And while running does have its place, it's definitely not the most efficient tool in the toolbox for mountain performance. You can build strength and cardio at the same time with weights when you perform them in a way that generates that endurance, that conditioning, and that strength at the same time. And how do we do this? We do this with weighted circuits. So here's what I would recommend. Pick 3 to 4 movements. And here's an example. Let's say dumbbell goblet squats, overhead press with a dumbbell, let's say push-ups, and then let's say bent over rows. We're getting our legs, our chest and shoulders, and our back, pretty much our whole body at that point. 3 to 4 movements. I want you to do 10 to 12 reps of each, and I want you to do them in a circuit with only 20 seconds rest between exercises, even 15 seconds rest perhaps. Complete 3 to 4 rounds of that, move at a very steady pace, and you will see that sort of training really does keep your heart rate elevated. It keeps your muscles hard and working, and it simulates that same physical and quite frankly, mental fatigue that you get when you're climbing steep terrain up the mountains. This, quite frankly, is where you build resilience as well. Your legs are going to be burning, your lungs are going to be pumping, your mind is going to want you to stop because you're doing this circuit, movement after movement after movement after movement. And ultimately, it's really up to you to choose to just keep going. And quite frankly, that's the kind of mental strength you need to climb mountains. Now that we've talked about training, let's talk about the next piece of the equation, your recovery. It's part of the training program too. If you're not recovering, you are not growing, period. So to maximize your recovery, you want to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. You want to make sure you're drinking water and you're properly hydrated, especially after your workouts. You want to make sure you're fueling yourself properly. You're getting the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbohydrates. You're eating right to fuel your body. And quite frankly, that is a big piece of the equation most people miss. They think as long as I'm doing a workout program, I'm going to get what I want. Ultimately, if you're not fueling yourself and supporting the workout with your nutrition and your recovery, you're not going to quite get the optimal results that you're looking for. It's all about how you absorb that hard training and how you come back stronger during your next training session. So after each workout, make sure you get a high protein meal, high carbs, replenish those energy stores you just burned out on that workout so that tomorrow's workout, you come back fresh, strong, and ready to go. If you want to train in a way that actually makes a difference on the trail, start lifting weights with these principles. No more wasting time doing random workouts that don't carry over to the mountains. No more lifting very light weights for 1,000,000 reps. No, it's time to start to lift heavy so that you can hike harder when you are out in the mountains. This is how you build a stronger, more resilient, more capable version of yourself. And if you want help putting all this together, I've got custom coaching programs of all sorts that'll walk you through all of it and do all the thinking for you with structured training, nutrition, and actual accountability. So if that resonates with you, click the link below. We'll book a call with me and we'll figure out which coaching program is right for you. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.